Now for Paladins, there's some situation for Paladins here.
The juicy one.
There's a lot for Paladins.
Man.
Okay, so let's put it into perspective.
Put
here.
it in.
All right, so we have the hero talents. Herald of the Sun. This is for Holy Paladins and Reds. Sun's Avatar now contributes 50% of its healing to Beacon of Light. It was 100% a nerf there. Sun's Avatar healing decreased by 20%. Eternal Flame, he's eternal. Periodic healing decreased by 20%. Dawn Light now contributes 50% of its healing to Beacon of Light, was 100%. Jesus, the nerfs all around. Luminosity now increases the critical strike rate of Holy Shock and Light of Dawn by 5%, was 10%. And Gleaming Rays now increases the healing of your Holy Power Spenders by 6%, was 10%. Now I do know that Holy was doing a lot of healing, and I didn't expect for them to like go above the like 10%, but it seems like for some of these and these are for the nodes on the hero talents for Herald of the Sun.
The Eternal Flame one is like whatever. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Eternal Flame is basically what replaces your Word of Glory as Herald of the Sun, and it leaves a little hot on it. The 20% decrease in hot, I don't know if that really matters that much. Sun's Avatar healing being reduced by 20%, maybe. Like, we tested Holy with the rework last week. For the life of me, I can't remember the breakdown of the healing.
But it was doing a lot of healing. That was the honest truth.
Way more.
It was, see, that's the thing. Because of the ridiculousness of the tuning on the beta dungeons, you kind of, things like these kind of go unnoticed. Like, oh, okay, this is good because I'm finally being able to heal people, but it apparently isn't the case.
It felt so good to heal with Holy Paladin. I felt so safe. And all of the burst mechanics, like, oh, I just have 1,000,000.5 HPS. I'm so good right now.
Yeah, but let's check out the Templar as well. This is for Retribution and Protection.
All right.
So, Undisputed Ruling now grants 12% haste for 6 seconds. After casting Hammer of Light, it was 15% haste. Imperial Hammer damage reduced by 5%. Cries of Redemption now deals 80% of the damage to nearby enemies of Imperial Hammer Critical Strike, was 60. So this was a buff, obviously. Also for Retribution, a Sacrosanct Crusade effectiveness reduced by 25%. I haven't really seen a lot of people play Templar. What was Mokti playing?
He plays Herald of the Sun. Herald of the Sun seems to be outperforming pretty much everything, but Templar, I mean, this is neither here nor there. I have no idea what these nerfs.
Well, they reduced the haste. So I think haste could be a big thing.
That wouldn't be necessarily a surprise because we've seen that for Sandlane as well. Like 15% haste is a lot of haste to just have at the beginning of an expansion.
True. But again, if we haven't like really seen that many Templar Retribution Paladins, because the majority of them.
Yeah, that's the thing. Pretty much everybody seems to have been playing Herald, which I feel like it was doing more. We haven't played Paladin on the channel for quite a while since we were focused a lot on range. So we're gonna have to pick it up and see exactly how these feel. But
yeah,
Red is just doing
Red
a lot of damage.
doing a lot of damage regardless. So I think
it's not the end of the world, but
Okay, for Holy specifically, the spec Holy Light healing decreased by 20%. Imbued infusions now reduce the cooldown of Holy Shock by 1 second, was 2 seconds. So they're definitely looking to tone down Holy.
This is probably pretty big.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's hard to take these into context because there are so many multipliers for Holy Paladin's Holy Light. Like, if you read the tooltip, it doesn't feel like it does much. It is like 200 to maybe 300k healing, at least that's how it did when we tested it, but it ends up critting for like over 1 million or 2 million, right? So there are so many underlying mechanics that multiply its potential that this 20% is definitely big because obviously it's scale, everything scales. So everything that was scaling with its original number scales with less of that number now, so the overall healing would, I feel like maybe it's a little bit too big, but then again, Holy Paladin was also healing for a lot, so...
Yeah. But let's check out Retribution, because there's a lot for Retribution here, but
Who's swapping from Red? Who's swapping from Red? What? No, I'm just kidding.
All right, so obviously we know Crusader Aura talent is no longer granted by default in the class tree for Retribution. Greater Judgment talent is now granted by default in the class tree for Retribution. Consecrated Blade is no longer a talent and now learned at level 11. So they put this pretty much baseline. New talent, Holy Flames. Divine Storm deals 10% increased damage, and when it hits an enemy affected by your expurgation, it spreads the effect up to 4 targets hit. This is cool. I like it. I like it.
Cool.
You deal 3% increased holy damage to targets burning from your expurgation. Remember when I talked about, man, I really hope they would go towards a build for
not even a week ago.
Ret Paladin. This is another big step towards that, and I'm really liking this. So you're basically, and this could. It's not there yet, but this could develop into a little bit more in-depth playstyle for Ret Paladins.
Some extra place to spin.
Yes, you would, because it's not there yet, but I can totally see this as, making sure that you, who knows, maybe you can snapshot some of these ticks. Maybe you can, track them and, make sure that they get the proper time and you time them up with something else. So there's a lot of potential to make the spec a little bit more deep. That's what I'm saying.
For sure. It's cool. The cool part about this is that we haven't really seen a lot of things for Ret, and just as we're getting closer to the pre-patch, we have a new talent. That to see this so close to the release is very,
But again, we go back to that discussion of, these builds, they were in testing.
Yeah, they probably had it for
this
a while.
This was, at least 1 month old. Okay, Justicar Vengeance now heals for 3... Why don't they just that talent just let it die, man? Nobody plays that, man. Just die. Maybe people play it in PvP. I'm not sure. But this talent has been introduced in Legion. It was played in arenas for a minute in Legion, and then it died off in all. So they are so stubborn with this goddamn talent. Can you not make something better? How about bringing that Legion talent, that teleport to the sword talent back? Okay,
yeah, everybody's gonna main.
Yeah, put that in. No, they will never do that. It was buggy. I talked with Bolas about it. They will never bring that because they could not ever fix their bugs. It caused so many bugs. It was ridiculous. But something else, whatever. This talent has to die. Just let it die. Stop bringing it in. Stop tuning it.
It had its time in the sun for like 3 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Blessed Champion is now a 1-point talent. Was 2. I love it when things like this happen. The following talents are now 2 points. Was 1. I talked too soon, goddammit.
1 step forward, 2 steps back. Yeah. Well, I think because they're adding the new talent. Like, we haven't seen the new talent distribution, but I think this is probably just to adjust the new pathing and the new talent and all of that.
Yeah, okay. So we have the 2 points now, Heart of Crusader and Zealot's Fervor. Holy Flame is now choice node with Blade of Vengeance. Interesting. So you're going to have to make a choice on that. Well, so this is the new talent, right? The Holy Flames thing is the new talent. Blade of Vengeance.
I don't remember.
I think it was the one with they would spawn Consecration over where you would hit with the Blade of Wrath.
It's the cleave on Blade of Justice.
Okay, so it's basically okay. You either go for cleave or you go for a little bit more AOE, but the fact that it's a choice node, well, I wouldn't mind if it will be a choice node as long as this choice is really a big differentiator. So if you go for Holy Flames, that's like super...
I think it's... well, so the Blade of Vengeance makes Blade of Wrath hit in AoE. And while Holy Flames... And it would probably apply Expurgation AoE as well, right?
Yeah, I remember it did.
Now you only have Expurgation on 1 target, and with Divine Storm you're going to be spreading it. But on top of that, Divine Storm deals more damage, and you also have a flat, 3% increased Holy damage.
Yeah. So... It kind of promotes spamming more Divine Storm if you go for Holy Flames. But again, I feel they have like 2 more steps, 2 more iterations to make it like really impactful.
Oh yeah,
make,
for sure it's
make some big ass gameplay change. But we'll see. Imperial Legacy moved to where Vanguard of Justice was on the tree. I think that makes sense. And Vanguard of Justice has been removed. Yeah, okay. So that's perfectly fine. Overall, looking pretty good, I would say, for the Ret Paladins. I really did not expect this. New talents and stuff.
Yeah.
And changing, for the talent points and adjustments over there. Really cool this late in the beta.